Hello and welcome back to the channel. So today we're looking at some more coverage of Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, and we'll be playing through some of the events and gaining some experience. This is the first section we're going to be covering to do with the no extra deck allowed event. In this point you're not allowed to use any extra deck monsters, so no fusions, synchros, links, certain extent pendulums, exceeds monsters, and you're restricted to that. And we're going to be gaining some experience. I did see some of the comments and some of the events, and I have played through quite a bit, and there were very common themes. Certain archetypes were very commonly used, such as Eldritch, because they relied on a specific boss monster and they were just brought out by their trap cards. Their trap cards, being trap monsters, also had their own additional effects, which made them even stronger. But we're going to be playing through also some normal play. As you can see, our starting hand has Give It Puppet Destroy. We have duel, we have the Joker, we have Puppet Ritual, and we have Condolence Puppet. Now my opponent is playing with Fallen of Albaz, as they've just normal summoned the monster, and they've brought forward the searching for the field spell. They chain a separate card, and pitch one of their monsters. To search for another one of their monsters. They're able to fuse into this monster. It's not really that powerful in that it requires you, every time that you do anything, activate an effect, you pay 600 life points. It's a bit like having a chain energy. Slightly better because that's 500 life points, whereas this is 600. And it's only really effective when you get your opponent's life points really down and they have no choice but to limit the effects or prioritize the types of effects that they're running. Unfortunately, they do have a full enough field. They've got 3 monsters, including 2 monsters over 2,000 attack points. I draw into the rank up Magic Argent Chaos Force, which is fine, but at the moment it's not going to be that useful. I'm debating what to do, considering the various cards I've got. Whether I should go for Destroy, which would then destroy itself, to bring out the 2 monsters, which I eventually decide to do, or to have used Condolence Puppet. My opponent activates their Infinite Impermanence, so that negates my monster. It's unfortunate, but I do have the backup plan. I decide to send Druidol and the Magnetol to the graveyard. And I'll end my turn there because there is nothing else I can do. I can't exceed during that turn. My opponent summons another Fallen of Albaz to their field. And they draw into their spell card. they decide to link summon into Predapant Verde Anaconda, which is a traditional, typical type of move. Obviously from here they then get rid of my monsters, and then they also probably bring out Destiny Hero DPE, or they'll bring out, you know, the yugioh. They search for another card. And they'll fusion summon this time into a second copy of the Masquerade. They revive their monster in attack mode. It's got 3,000 attack points, and activate their field spell. Fusing their two monsters together, they bring out their third version of Masquerade. Now they'll use Verde Anaconda's ability to pay 2,000 life points. They'll send Fusion Destiny to the graveyard, and they're bringing out Destiny Hero Destroyer Phoenix Enforcer. Talk about overkill. Probably could have defeated me way before this. My opponent starts by attacking with their first Masquerade, and I don't know why they're using Max C, because there is nothing I can do in response. Oh, here we go, there is something I can do. Because it was destroyed as a form of battle, can be by either effect or by battle, I'm then able to use the effects of my various monsters to bring them out. So I'll bring out both Druidol in defense mode, and my Twilight Joker to protect my life points. Hopefully if I can survive this turn I would be able to use Puppet Ritual, but even so DPE would destroy that anyway, whatever I brought out. I draw into my Bistol. Unfortunately there isn't anything I can do with it because I need to discard another Gimmick Puppet monster to special summon it to my side of the field. I'm left with no choice but to set two cards, hopefully to concern my opponent, but I don't think they'll be concerned anyway, because if I was to activate anything I would end up losing all my life points due to the 3 Masquerade costs. It'd come to 1,800 life points per card activation. And there goes my Argent Chaos Force. And just to add insult to injury, my opponent normal summons a Maxi and attacks me directly with it. Followed up by Verde Anaconda. DPE uses its effect to destroy my remaining face down card. Well, that was fun. I got completely destroyed in that case. I'm going to start moving into this area now, dealing with the Extra Zero Festival. So I've got the flowandereez deck, that's the one that I'm running for this event. I'm not too keen on the cards, but out of the three options it was my favourite. The whole point of the flowandereez is that they encourage each other's normal summons, you get additional normal summons, and you've got two monsters that you can bring out which are the high level 10 monsters. One has the ability to discard a card and half all of your opponent's monsters' attack points. The second has the ability to Book of Moon all of your opponent's monsters. Either way, both work to disrupt your opponent. It's just the decision of what you have in your hand and what your opponent's playing. My opponent has the Adventurer archetype, so this is based on this falcon-looking creature which is summoned now, and they generate tokens, these adventurer tokens. They have equip cards which help to disrupt the opponent. There's the example of one of the level 10s. With the penguin, hopefully if you start off by special summoning the swallow, now you have a choice of what you can do. You can either choose to normal summon again and hopefully get another monster out, or you can actually get rid of that card to draw into another card. I choose to set the trap card that I've just drawn, and I'll end my turn. My opponent activates their equip spell, which returns my card back to my hand, changing both their monsters from defense to attack mode. Setting a card face down, and going into the battle phase. I've drawn into a couple of cards this time, thanks to its effect, but they're the same card. I'll special summon the Swallow for a second time. I send my monster back to the deck from the hand. I'll send them both back and draw 2 new cards. Both are quite useful, so I'll start off with the Harpy's Feather Duster to eliminate all of my opponent's back row cards. The equip spell has the effect to recover itself and to re-equip back onto the adventure token. I'll set 2 cards face down and end the turn. My opponent now activates their Harpy's Feather Duster. I have no choice but to activate Infinite Impermanence just so that, you know, it's not wasted. And they trigger off their effect. And return it to the deck to negate my effect. They'll attack directly with both their monsters, and they'll win the duel without taking any battle damage. So that was a bit of a disappointment. Hopefully we can make some improvements. In this case, I've drawn into my Lightning Vortex, the Lightning Storm, Raigeki, a couple of the field spells, and one of the smaller flowandereez monsters, the level ones. My opponent seems to be running an Unchained deck, so they destroy their trap card to special summon an Unchained monster. The trap card activates from the graveyard, special summoning a second Unchained monster. And they get to return their trap card from the graveyard back to the field. They They then summon one of their bigger boss monsters, the one with 3000 attack points, in attack mode, and activate their normal spell card to search for another trap card. They're set to have 3 back row cards. This is perfect for me because I can actually instantly activate my Lightning Storm, destroying their back row. My opponent chains a trap card in response. They summon another Unchained monster to their field, and then I activate my Raigeki, destroying all of their Unchained monsters. Unfortunately, this isn't going to do anything, considering they all like to be destroyed by either battle or effects. They trigger themselves and then summon some additional monsters to the field. I activate the map. Unfortunately for this event, because I didn't have the necessary cards to build what I would consider to be a decent deck, I only have some support for gimmick puppets, and they tend not to be useful at all. Without their Xyz monsters, there was no way I could bring that to this event. I was forced, because of timing, to just go with whatever was standardized within the game. It does give you the disadvantage of being, quite predictable. They know what you're running because they can see the deck list, but it comes at the benefit for those who don't have access to the highest level monsters and their effects, because flowandereez is considered to be very popular and it's also very competitive. On the other hand, as the events progress, I'm sure I'll be getting some more cards and some more archetypes out, so I'll be testing some of those. In this case, we've got 3 of the small level 1 flowandereez monsters, the field spell, and we've got the other spell which lets you take a couple of them, put them back in the deck, and replace them with 2 draws. My opponent seems to be running a machinist style of deck. And they have their dragonic diagram to destroy various cards. They're not running machiners, they're running the true Dracos. It's a deck that I'm quite concerned about, since they can actually revive themselves by getting rid of their back row, and those back row, when they're removed, have additional effects before they hit the graveyard. They're also able to bypass a lot of the summoning conditions by simply getting rid of one of their continuous spells that are on the field. So you can opt to basically lose an effect and trade it in for a monster. They also activate their Dimensional Fissure, which is a nightmare. It's going to banish everything of my cards, well, everything of theirs at the moment, they'd gone with Macrocosmos, it'd be all of everyone's cards. If they get sent to the graveyard, they actually get banished instead. In this case, we drew into the Harpy's Feather Duster, so I'll activate that immediately without, thinking. Just instantly, that's my first response. And I'd love to know, do you guys actually like the animations that they've recently introduced? Or do you think it makes the game quite slow and laggy and a bit tacky? I'd love to hear those in the comments down below, whatever thoughts you have. My opponent then activates their continuous trap card. I use my spell card to substitute a couple of cards, send those back to the deck, and draw 2 additional cards. I managed to get into one of the high level 10 monsters, and I've also got my infinite impermanence. I'll use the field spells effect. I get to reveal my flowandereez monster. I believe this lets you search out for another flowandereez card. From this effect, I'm deciding on which card I'm going to search for. I decide to go with the Swallow because it gets to special summon itself. I'll choose to normal summon the boss monster by attributing over a couple of their cards, one of their trap card, and my monster. But in making that decision, I've been quite stupid. I forgot, in the process, that when that card leaves the field because of some type of destruction, you get to destroy your opponent's monsters. In this case, I'm not quite sure what to do. I've only got the 3 level 1 monsters, but I've got to do something, so I'll just summon one in attack mode. I'll set the infinite impermanence in the same column as that true Draco monster, and end the turn there. My opponent just goes straight into the battle phase without summoning anything or setting anything. And I take 1,900 points of damage. I draw into another copy of one of the level 1 monsters. I think this is Eaglin. I'll use the maps effect. And the True Draco monster, it gets to then activate their effect in response. I'll use the infinite impermanence to negate their monster. I'll summon my monster in attack mode. And I'll trigger off some of the other monsters' effects. With their effects, I'm able to recover certain other cards. The card I opt to banish is the nuisance trap card that they used. And I'll be special summoning Robin. Its effect then triggers. Bringing another one of the smaller flowandereez to my hand. I decide this is as good a point as any to then use the effect of the continuous spell card to send the two monsters back from the hand to the deck in order to try and get a couple of the boss monsters. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work out that way. I get Red Reboot and Twin Twister. Both are normally quite good, but in this situation it's just not viable. I mean, my opponent doesn't have any spell or trap cards on their field. They might do so in their hand, but I can't get to them from there. My opponent sets a card face down and goes straight into the battle phase. If you guys enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe down below. It really helps support the channel. Or if you're not prepared to do that, I'd love you to at least watch one or two other videos, see if you prefer the flavour of this or whether you like that. With the effect of the Swallowtail, it then lets me draw into two cards, so I do have one of the boss monsters, also have Called by the Grave. Using its effect, I'm able to tribute a monster from both mine and my opponent's field. I'll then trigger off one of the effects from the banish pile, and the second effect as well. I'll go straight into battle to do 3,600 points of total damage. I'll set the 2 cards face down. Not before activating the continuous spell to trade in my 2 cards. And I drew into a Monster Reborn and their trap card. I decide to leave the rest of the cards in my hand just in case they've got anything that will wipe my back row out. My opponent sets another card. They then tribute over one of their cards to bring forth one of the 2 Dracos. Using its effect from the graveyard, I then activate Called by the Grave, and I will banish the True Draco just in case they want to try and revive it. At first I forgot that it only targets monsters, otherwise I would have just targeted that trap card. But I don't think it's much of a waste. It still prevents them from accessing some of their higher level monsters and their stronger boss monsters. And there goes my high level monster in an instant. My opponent is using their continuous spell card as a sacrifice for another monster to summon. And they use the effect from the graveyard. To get rid of my trap card. They'll tribute over their continuous spell card and bring forth Ignis. I don't know why they're not just attacking. They'll easily beat me down now. Then here goes my other continuous spell card. It's going to be destroyed. They activate a trap card. And they go straight into the battle phase. Unfortunately, flowandereez I don't think are that effective against the true Dracos, or at least the way I've played them doesn't seem to be. It'd be nice if I had the variety of different spell and trap cards that I could access to increase and improve the consistency of this deck. As it is, this is just a very basic version. It's designed to help some of the newest players to learn the deck. But the one good thing about these events is that they generate quite a few gems. So I was lucky I started this new account at the point where just before the event was happening, so I could get as many of those as I could, and to design a deck. I'll receive all of those just to boost my gems and also the rarities as well. And we'll see what's in the shop. At this point I am kind of wondering what I should be going for, since I basically have the entirety of the gimmick puppets. There's a debate of going between the heraldry crest monsters or to go with the chronomalies, or even the charmers, because I do like them. Have a quick look at what they've got as in terms of their designs, but I decided to go against that. See, I'm having great difficulty between the heraldry crests and the chronomalies, so I end up going with chronomaly. It makes sense since Trey is the younger brother of Quattro. In this, we've got a Destiny card, we've got a couple of the decent Chronomaly monsters, including the Trap card. That Tusper Rocket, I think, is the best one I've got. In my second pack, I have a Naturia monster, I've got a couple of the gimmick in the Chronomaly monsters. The carrier's fine, but the Chronomaly technology is a bit like their version of Pot of Greed, and you definitely want to be running 3 of those. It banishes one of your Chronomalies from the graveyard, and you choose between the top 2 cards in your hand, and you choose the one you want. So in here we've got Mech, we have the Machine, which is the 2 tribute cards. We have one of the brand new support, which is that Colosseum looking thing, which is a continuous spell card, which allows you to summon multiple times in a turn at the cost of 500 life points. Here we've not got anything that good. Oh, we've got the Chaos Chronomaly number monster for the number 6. And we've got Soul Monolith, which is okay, that adjusts levels of your monsters so that they become level 6. And we've got Mud Golem, which does piercing damage. It's got 1700 attack, so it's also quite decent for a level 4 monster. This, we've got a Malefic Rainbow Dragon. There's a couple of the Chronomaly monsters in there, a couple of the copies. Those ones, when they're normal summoned, you can special summon a different Chronomaly monster from your hand and adjust the level of that monster to this. And then you can use those for an Xyz for a rank 4 or 5 or a 6. Here is also another one of the new supports. It's quite decent, the one that is a level 5, because that can protect your monsters. By discarding it, you protect them and they can actually be revived from the graveyard at a cost of 1000 life points. Here we've got another Malefic monster, it's a Cyber Dragon, and we've got another one of the support cards for Chronomonies, the new ones, which happens to be that mudball looking creature. You get to tribute it to special summon another monster from your deck. Any of the Chronomony monsters fits. As it is, we don't have many of the important ones. We've got a couple of the new ones. We're missing all of the Xyz monsters that they rely upon. We've only got a couple of the decent cards. So it's back to dueling. We need to see what we can compile and whether we can get the gems necessary to build and craft the entirety of the Chronomoly deck. In my starting hand, we've got one of the lower flowandereez monsters. We've got Harpy's Feather Duster, Called by the Grave, the Field Spell, and their trap card. My opponent's playing the Adventurer archetype, so they get to special summon their Griffin. In defense mode, I'll activate the field spell, and then I'll select my flowandereez monster in the hand, and I'll be banishing a different flowandereez monster. My opponent decides just to quit for whatever reason. There's an error, and my opponent just surrenders, so I get the points. Again, I very much hate that. I prefer to lose honourably or win in a decent way than to just have my opponent quit on me. So we'll be going second in this one. I'm hoping my opponent has something decent, but then again, they are a Japanese player, so I am expecting something very competitive. So I'll start off with two of the Robins in the hand. We've got the Eaglin, the Penguin, and the Field Spell. My opponent is playing with the Pendulum Sorcerers. Opponent is searching for some pendulum monsters using their spell card. And they managed to get one that they set in their second pendulum zone. They use its effect to pendulum summon. It's just one monster in defense mode. I'm not concerned about that. I thought it was going to be a bit more impressive. For example, pendulum summoning their entire hand. I draw into infinite impermanence, so that's fine. I think that's decent. But we'll start nice and easy with the field spell. with its effect. We'll choose to banish a certain monster. In order to normal summon the Robin. I'll be able to normal summon my Eaglin using the effect, and I'll recover a monster from my banish pile. Eaglin's effect then activates, letting me search for one of the boss monsters. Since I've got the first one in that hand already, I'll go for the second version, and I'll then normal summon once again. I'll go with the one that halves your opponent's attack points by tributing, and my opponent decides to end the game there. It doesn't mind me for that sake, because I'll get quite a few gems from them surrendering, but I would have preferred to have earned those. So it's back to the duel. We'll see where we're going and what we're facing. In my starting hand, we've got the Swallowtail, we have Twin Twister, the Field Spell, Infinite Permanence, and the Trap card. My opponent is also running a flowandereez style of deck, so this is a mirror match. Most likely they'll be using the exact same starter deck, which is everyone has access to. I'll opt to use Infinite Impermanence to negate its effect, since I don't have anything on my field. They search for another one of their flowandereez monsters, but they have their effect negated, so they can't summon anything else for the rest of the turn. I eventually draw into a second field spell, which is right at this moment not useful. I'll activate the field spell just to see what I can get to. I'll set the trap card face down. And end the turn. activate the trap card in response to my opponent using Harpy's Feather Duster. Selecting my monster and normal summoning it. My opponent normal summons a couple of their various flowandereez monsters and they search for the boss monster. And they tribute those two monsters to bring it out, the Emperor. We get to search for the trap card, and he goes straight into the battle phase. The field spell activates, searching and revealing one of their monsters to banish a separate one to the banish pile, and normal summoning. Using its effect, they're able to recover the banished monster to the hand, and that's their second boss monster. They set one card face down and end their turn. I draw into my Eaglin. I'll start off with Twin Twisters, discarding the field spell to get rid of their trap card and their field spell. They activate the effect of the trap card. Which enables them to normal summon an additional monster, so they'll bring out their Eaglin. And Eaglin's effect lets them search for a winged beast monster, which happens to be one of those Mist Valley monsters, and then they tribute those two monsters to normal summon it. They've recovered the token monsters that they've got it back to the hand. I'll normal summon during my turn the Eaglin and use its effect. Unfortunately, the Mist Valley monster has the ability to negate that effect by returning itself to the hand and banishing my monster. My opponent normal summons their monster and searches for a separate monster. It's Riser the Storm Monarch. They'll normal summon their flowandereez and Snow in attack mode and attack directly with both their boss monsters.